Hey, Astra Kids, and welcome back. And in today's video, we'll be talking about Saturn in Taurus. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. So before we start, I just want to give a quick disclaimer that for this video, I am using Vedic sidereal astrology. So if you are using tropical astrology, then this interpretation may not work for you. It's also important to understand what is the condition of Saturn in your natal chart as well. So you want to see what are the aspects, what are the conjunctions to Saturn. All of this will make a difference. And of course, you want to see what is the house placement of Saturn as well. So I've made a whole series on Saturn through the 12 houses. Make sure to check that out. I will leave a link for that down below in the description and above. So it's important to see what house is Saturn placed in your natal chart. Along with this, you want to see what houses is Saturn associated with in your chart. So you want to see where is Capricorn and where is Aquarius in your chart. This becomes extremely important to see as well. Along with this, it's important to understand that Saturn will mature around the age of 36 and tends to return back to its original location around the age of 30. So these are two pivotal moments where Saturn's lessons and karmas will come back to you and will become extremely active in your life. So typically, the lessons of Saturn are more challenging in the younger years of life, but tend to improve after 36 and onward. Now, we have to understand, what does Saturn represent and what does Taurus represent in order to break this down. I also want to mention that I will be talking about Saturn through the three nakshatras of Rohini, Mrigashira, and Krittika towards the end of this video. So make sure that you stick around so that you understand what Saturn's going to do in these three nakshatras. So Saturn is a very mysterious planet. It is an introverted planet. It tends to like isolation. And interestingly enough, we don't talk about this a lot in the realm of astrology, but Saturn is a very spiritual planet as well. Saturn has to do with meditation, has to do with accessing the hidden secrets, because we can see this through the nakshatras that Saturn rules over, which are falling in the middle of those water signs, which are the moksha signs, the signs that are all about spirituality. Saturn is also about sacrifice, surrender. Saturn dislikes anything that is related to the ego. So it is all about putting down the ego and being able to sacrifice oneself, being able to give back to society. We know that Saturn's Mullatrikone sign is in Aquarius, which is all about service to humanity. So Saturn is about taking on responsibility. It is about being of service to others, about being humble, about being ethical. And so with Saturn, there's always a need to put down the ego. There's always a need to really be of help to others, and to be willing to share with this energy becomes extremely important, which we can also see through Saturn's exaltation in Libra, that it is about this exchange, this ability to share with others. Also, Libra is a sign of justice and balance. So we know that Saturn is like the judge in astrology. Saturn brings back to us our past karmas that need to be dealt with in this lifetime. So Saturn is going to demand hard work, discipline, humbleness, ethical behavior. Service is going to want us to be responsible in the area that he's placed in our chart. So this becomes extremely important to see. Saturn, because it is about hard work and discipline, it is also connected to our work life. Saturn is one of those karakas for the 10th house of career. Our duty, our responsibility within society is seen through Saturn's position. Saturn at a younger age can also show fears, obstacles, anxiety. Once again, those lessons of Saturn become more challenging at a younger age. And as we start to mature, we start to understand more about how to navigate some of these challenges. So for some of us, Saturn in our charts is a place where we feel blocked, where we feel some kind of anxiety or fear or worry in the earlier part of life as well. It's all about those karmic obstacles, those lessons that we've carried over from past life experience that needs to be dealt with here in this lifetime. Now, Taurus is a fixed earth sign. So, Taurus has everything to do with security because it is fixed. It likes to stay as it is, and it is connected to the earth element, which has everything to do with stability, security, with abundance. So, definitely, Taurus is focused on being stable and secure within the material realm. Taurus can also be very much materialistic, very much about enjoying the pleasures of life because Venus is also ruler of Taurus. So, it is definitely about indulging into the comforts, into the sensual pleasures of life. Taurus can be very romantic, very much into beauty, into the arts, into entertainment, fashion, socializing. It is a very friendly and diplomatic sign. Taurus also has a lot to do with money, and so sometimes it can show money management skills. But Taurus, again, is also connected with the arts, and since Taurus rules the throat, it can also show singing and musical abilities. Taurus is definitely about indulging into sensual pleasure. So it can be a very lustful sign as well. It can be very sexual, very sensual, very romantic. Taurus also is the original second house of our chart, which has to do with our personal values. It has to do with our family, with our sense of security, where we are coming from. And so it can be very cultural, very much about classical arts, about tradition, about the past, about our connection to our home and family. So, what happens then when Saturn comes into the sign of Taurus? Well, Saturn is definitely going to be putting restrictions on the things that are related to Taurus. But at the same time, we have to understand that Saturn and Venus are friends with one another. So, this is actually one of the better positions for Saturn to be in a natal chart. So, Saturn in Taurus, first of all, is going to put restrictions on wealth. So there's definitely some kind of a fear or obstacle when dealing with wealth with this position. And this can come in two forms. It could be that you are someone who spends a lot, who indulges a lot, who is into the enjoyment of life. And there can be some guilt or some feelings of regret that are associated with this as well. The other extreme is that Saturn and Taurus can make you very frugal, can make you all about saving and being very disciplined about your wealth as well. So you want to see what is the condition of Saturn in your chart. This will show which of these directions you will take. But either way, Saturn and Taurus will make you become very disciplined in the way that you deal with your wealth in life for sure. Saturn and Taurus is not necessarily making wealth impossible for you to build. In fact, Saturn and Taurus is all about you gaining this sense of security and wealth in your life. But Saturn wants you to do it the right way. Saturn here is trying to teach you about patience, about hard work, about dedication, about being realistic about how you are approaching money. So, Saturn and Taurus does not like when you are spending money carelessly, when you are wasting money. It's very important about how you are managing this wealth. And this can be associated with a past life experience as well, where you could have been very wealthy in a past life, or you could have been in a situation where you were in poverty or in a difficult circumstance where you were seeking out wealth in that past life experience. So now the karmas from that past life are coming into this life where you are definitely dealing with wealth on a huge level when Saturn comes into Taurus. Now, also, once again, as I said from the beginning, Taurus is a very creative sign. It has to do with the arts, entertainment, fashion, enjoyment, luxury, and so on. So, definitely with Saturn coming into Taurus, this could give you a love of older things, of antiques, of old paintings, of classical music, of different forms of art that are more so rooted in tradition or culture or something that has some kind of value and meaning behind it. This placement also can make you someone who's very hardworking, very organized, very much approaching life in this disciplined way. Because again, You are seeking to build wealth, to save wealth, to manage wealth properly. And as you get older with this position, you can be a master in terms of how to manage wealth properly. This definitely can make you very savvy in terms of finances, knowing where to put the money, knowing how to use the money. All of this can be very important to you. But at an earlier age, you may struggle with this as well. And in particular, Saturn and Taurus can give some anxiety around wealth. Once again, it can give this feeling of guilt, like you shouldn't spend or you shouldn't enjoy life at times, can be seen with this placement. Saturn and Taurus, for the most part, is also going to make you very ethical about how you deal with wealth. You want to build it slowly, step by step. You want to work your way up in terms of your success in life. Of course, if Saturn is afflicted in any way, then this could mean that you want to take the wrong means to gain this wealth. But typically, it makes you very steady in your approach. You want to really build this up the right way and to work for it, because the more that you work for your success, the more that you work for your wealth in life, the happier you feel. Also, with this placement, it's about moderation. So, if you are wanting more and more of wealth, because remember, Taurus is a sign that wants to enjoy things, it can be very lustful, very much into accumulation of things. So, if you are continuously wanting more and more of this wealth, then there can also be a feeling of dissatisfaction. The more balanced you are, the more that you are in this mindset of keeping wealth in a balanced state, of having the wealth that you need rather than going overboard and wanting more and more of this, the more happy you will feel in life. So it definitely is about finding that space. Remember, Saturn is exalted in Libra, which is all about balance. So it's about moderation. It's about doing things in a way that is simplistic, that is really grounded, where you are not going overboard with this. Sometimes Saturn can also show some issues related to the things that you were taking into your body. Because remember, Taurus rules over that second house, which is also representing the mouth, representing the things that you're taking in. So there can be some eating disorders, there could be a sweet tooth, there could be issues with alcohol, with substances that are seen with this placement, or again, there could be some spendthrift tendencies, some going overboard in terms of spending on luxury items, spending on things that you enjoy with this placement. But again, that feeling of guilt, that feeling of dissatisfaction tends to come afterwards. So definitely Saturn here is challenging you to make sure that you take your time to do things in the right way with how you are managing your wealth. Saturn in Taurus, though, at the end of the day, can definitely give you a lot of wealth. It can make you a very successful person. Again, you want to see how is Saturn positioned in your chart. But for the most part, this is definitely a position of success, of security, of happiness, of good fortune with Saturn in Taurus. Now, let's talk about the different nakshatras that fall under this sign of Taurus. And we talked a little bit about Krittika in our previous video because it began in the sign of Aries, but we're going to talk about the Taurus side of Krittika. So Krittika, first of all, is known as the star of fire, ruled over by Agni, the god of fire. So there's a fiery nature here. This is about burning through things, about purification. And even the symbol of Krittika is a sharp blade, which again is about cutting ties, about removing things that no longer serve us. It's also very sharp and cutting. So it is about that sharp intellect, that ability to think critically, and that ability to be direct in communication. So definitely with Saturn and Krittika, this can give you very straightforward speaking ability. You are able to get straight to the point, to say things as they need to be said. So you typically don't get too swept up into feelings, into beating around the bush, trying to be too diplomatic with this. You are very much able to get to the point with Saturn in Krittika. Now, because this is a fiery nakshatra, it does increase the lustfulness. It increases the desire that is in here. So you want to be careful with this. You want to make sure that everything that you are doing is ethical when Saturn is in Krittika. You don't want to do things with this passion, this lustfulness that can land you into difficulty, because this can definitely derail your progress and success in these areas of wealth. Saturn and Kritika can also, in the Taurus part of this, make you very skilled with investments, with different business dealings, with really being able to put your finances into the right places that can lead to the accumulation of wealth. So this could make you very skilled in real estate, in stock market, in different forms of investments can be seen. And of course, you want to see again what is the condition of Saturn here. If it is badly afflicted, then you may want to be careful about making investments. But usually with Saturn and Kritika, there is difficulties around making investments early on in life, and you begin to improve in this area and can see some great success later on. Sometimes this placement can also create some problems within the family or home situation as well, because Kritika is definitely related to foster care, to mothering, to nurturing. So definitely it has a connection towards the home environment, towards your connection to family. So there can be some potential issues here, especially in the earlier part of life as well. Another thing about this placement is that you can have a great connection with elder people as well, because Kritika definitely is associated with older people with this placement, as Kritika is associated with Kartikeya, who was fostered by his several foster mothers. So it is connected with this connection to elder people in your life. So that could be seen on some level also. Now let's talk about Saturn and Rohini. So Rohini is going to fall in the middle part of Taurus, which means it is definitely the most like Taurus of all the nakshatras. Rohini is a very interesting nakshatra because it is probably one of the most feminine nakshatras in the zodiac. It is falling in the sign of Taurus, which is Venus ruled, but it also is going to be ruled over by Moon as the Vimshotri Lord. So this can definitely give a love of sensuality, of beauty, of fashion, of entertainment, of socializing. This makes you someone who's very talented, creative, typically with Rohini placements. Rohini, again, like Kritika, can be very lustful, can have a lot of desires and passions. There is a lot of wanting to enjoy life to the fullest in this Rohini Nakshatra. It also can be very passive, very sensitive, very much diplomatic, kind, friendly. There's a softer side to this. Again, this is a lot of feminine energy that is going into Rohini Nakshatra. Rohini also can be perfectionistic, and it's all about driving forward towards goals and achievements, as the symbol is a chariot. But mainly, this is a very creative one. This is about really taking those creative ideas, those ingenious ideas, and turning it into something. Now, Saturn and Rohini is definitely going to be a bit of a challenge because, again, Rohini has a lot of desires, a lot of wanting to enjoy life, wanting to experience different things, wanting to really go into beauty and luxury and enjoyment. And with this, Saturn is not happy because, again, Saturn wants moderation, Saturn wants discipline. So this is definitely going to take a lot of effort for you to keep some of these passions and desires under control. With this placement, you can have a great love of wanting to enjoy life, but remember that Saturn is demanding the hard work from you. So you can enjoy yourself, but you must work for this. You must put in the effort. You must be able to build structure in your life. This becomes extremely important. And like Kritika, you want to avoid doing anything that is unethical. You want to, again, keep these desires in check. One thing that this placement can be great with, though, is again, Rohini is very creative, very talented, very ingenious with its thinking. So, definitely Saturn here, if you're working hard, if you are committed towards your projects, towards your goals in life, then that creativity can definitely pay off, where you can be very successful in the arts, very successful in anything that has to do with designing, with creativity. This is definitely an area where you can flourish because, again, Saturn is a karaka for work. So this can definitely show that you can do some kind of work that has to do with creativity. Whether you are just thinking in a creative way, coming up with ingenious ideas, or you are actually doing something that is related to arts and design. This could also make you skilled in hospitality and anything at all where you are making others feel comfortable with this placement can also be seen as well. So Saturn and Mrigashira. Mrigashira is the star of searching, and it is symbolized by a deer head, which is all about searching for meaning and purpose in life. So, similar to Rohini and Krittika, there is again a huge desire nature that is found in Mrigashira. There is desire for happiness, for fulfillment, for enjoyment in life. And this is a very sensual one. This is a Nakshatra that is also about making others feel happy as well. Can be very entertaining, very much humorous, playful, witty. This is a nakshatra that also has to do with any kind of research, anything, again, that has to do with searching, that has to do with seeking something out, can be seen with this as well. So, with Saturn and Mrigashira, this can definitely show that you are skilled in those areas that have to do with searching, with research, with detective work, with writing, with communication, with anything at all that has to do with using your intelligence, using that skill of seeking and searching things out can definitely be seen with this placement. And this can give you great success in those areas with this as well. And typically, this makes you someone who's very stable and hardworking because with Mrigashira, the mind is always going. There's always this quest for something. So, this gives you a lot of determination, a lot of purpose. And so, this tends to be a great placement. So, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you like this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. If you are new to this channel and you want to see more content like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you found this helpful, share this out to a friend. And of course, as always, if you are confused by any of these placements at all, make sure to check out how they are placed in the chart. Is this aspected a certain way? Is it conjunct with a planet? And of course, you want to see the house placement once again that Saturn is in. So make sure to check out that series of Saturn through the 12 houses. If you want to go deeper with your chart, then feel free to reach out to me. I have all of my services on my website, astrochartswithdaquan.com. And if you are interested in my brand new course where you can learn the beginning where you can learn the beginner's foundation of Vedic astrology, then make sure to check that out on my site as well. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.